Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Echo. Good morning. Why did I say good morning? Good evening. It's midnight. I'm exhausted. Um, yeah. And so I should be in bed, but I really wanted to record right now because I wanted to share the news. So far, a judge in California put a stop to tiny little bit of the madness going on, and is allowing Venezuelans to stay and be legal and continue with the legal papers that they already had while they fight it out in court, while it gets duked out in court. So, with that said, let's not forget that it's still a shit show, in all sense of the way. Meaning, people are being detained left and right for no reason, legal, illegal, resident, it doesn't matter at this point. And pretty soon, hopefully they won't, but they're going to try to get rid of all the citizenship as well, the naturalize. All of this, keep in mind, they know they're going to lose all those legal battles, but you can still push and see how much you can get away with. At the very least, you get to clog the system, and then you get to really get some of the nastiest things through, you know, like how they pandering the whole re-election thing. So let's start with a little bit of the news from the district judge. It says, let's see. I'm not going to read the entire article, but a federal court today blocked the federal government attempt to strip Venezuelans of temporary protected status, TPS, while the case moved forward. U.S. District Judge Ed Chen, ruling on the NTPSA v. Noen, protects approximately 350,000 Venezuelans TPS holders who were set to lose work authorization on April 3rd. 3 days. 3 days. And the protections on April 7th. As a result, they instead will retain the humanitarian protections while the case proceeds. See, kind of like innocent until found guilty type of thing, and there's no guilty to be found of anything here. They literally, all of them, all of these people went through every single process that it needed to be done in background checks and whatnot. Do you imagine if they did half of the background checks that they want to do on any immigrant, aside from what was already done to gun owners? Just saying. In his 78-page ruling, Judge Chen ruled the secretary's action threatened to inflict irreparable harm on hundreds of thousands of persons whose lives, families, and livelihoods will be severely disrupted, cost the United States billions in economic activity, and injure public health and safety in communities throughout the United States. At the same time, the government has failed to identify any real countervailing harm in continuing TPS for Venezuelan beneficiaries. Because all they're saying is illegals, rapists, murderers, blah, blah, blah. They're just, mirroring onto us, projecting onto us themselves. In the face of adversity, we stand united. Today's victory is not just a legal win, but a statement to the strength of the TPS community and all who fight alongside us. You can include me on that one. We will continue to fight this unwavering resolve, not only to protect the future of 350,000 Venezuelans, but to defend all TPS holders in this country. Together, we will ensure that the voices of those who seek safety and opportunity are heard, and not one is unjustly torn from their families, said Jose Palma, coordinator of the Alliance National TPS Alliance. So, and you gotta remember, like, this is a very small battle they got won. because obviously there's going to be appeals, there's going to be this and that. Um, but while the process gets dragged on, we can actually go ahead and, you know, have these people contribute to the country like they have been. I mean, if you could truly see most of them in action and just living their life and doing their best, you would say, you know what, they're just like me. But hey, so the next thing, I mean, because that at least right there, it's a good step in the right direction. But what about the rest of them? You know what I mean? So let's just make sure, because we are getting treated like criminals. I literally, I'm afraid every time now I go outside. And I work with the cops and I work with the deputies and the courts and all of those people. And I'm still nervous of just getting pulled over because things are getting out of control so quickly. Well, I am carrying a color copy of my naturalization just in case, you know, because just to try to be sure and try to be safe. Now, let's say, for example, look at this one over here from Cuban detained by ICE while taking out his trash on North Miami. Emily demands answers. Sorry for my reading. Like I said, I am extremely exhausted. My eyes are square right now. Perez Delgado told NBC6 that while at Crone, her husband was deprived of food, water, and even a bed. No criminal record, no gang affiliation, owned a towing business, spent 11 years renewing work permits and trying to obtain his own citizenship. The wife is an American citizen. He was grabbed by ICE as he was taking out the trash, shipped to a detention center in New Mexico. You imagine walking out to take out your trash, and that's it. You're gone. People are being entrapped out of the courthouses. So you got a ticket for whatever stupid reason, but that puts your name on immigration. They can check the list on courts and things like that. So they are not allowed in New York State to wait outside the court anymore, like they did during Trump's first presidency. But that doesn't mean that they don't stay right around the corner. So basically entrapping them there. Now, this lady, I've been coming across to Stansbury, and I wish I had her calm and, you know, chill demeanor while just dropping it like bombs. I mean, listen to this.
Donald Trump or Elon Musk decided that an agency and its operations was unnecessary, under your bill, they could just eliminate it. Is that correct?
Chuka, Congressman.
It requires Congress to vote on
it. Mr. Chairman, as I read it, your bill is giving the congressional authority to the executive to do it without Congress.
No, that's not true. You're misinterpreting the bill.
Can you please point us to the language in the bill that retains Congress's authority?
It requires a privileged resolution in Congress.
Can you please point us to the page and the line number that requires congressional consent for reorganization of the federal government?
It should be something simple. I got like 20 seconds here. It should be simple. Listen, it's my build. I created it. I know it inside out. The answer, you find it here, and there. Kind of like when they ask about your homework at school. This guy is sitting around looking at the sky, at the ceiling, while somebody else who actually put the bill together and did the whole thing is telling him what to say because he doesn't know a damn thing of what he's actually proposing. because he already got a signed check for it, or balls grabbed.
In sections 908 and 909
37 seconds.
of Title 5.
And you can hear the person in the background. He literally leans
I'm
back.
sorry, Mr. Chairman, section 908 says striking December 31st, 1985. Can you please refer to the language that retains Congress's authority under the United States Constitution to rein in the executive to stop it from eliminating unnecessary duties, reducing federal employees, amending rules and regulations, and eliminating executive departments, agencies, independent establishments, offices, or officers of the executive branch?
You got it wrong. You don't know what you're talking about, lady. Let the time keep on rolling because he doesn't know the answer and he's waiting for somebody else to tell him.
This let me answer that question. This bill amends Title 5, Section 908 and 909.
Answer, repeat it.
Again, Mr. Chairman,
And
please point us.
they didn't say the answer completely like they told him.
Retains Congress.
They gave him a full answer. He can't do that.
To rein in the executive branch.
You're intentionally misrepresenting the bill.
Mr. Chairman, I'm reading the bill and I'm asking you as the
Read the bill.
sponsor to point to us where your bill, which you are trying to pass through this committee today, retains the authority of Congress.
It changes the date to 2026. It amends the date.
Mr. Chairman, I'm just going to read from your bill. I've got 40 seconds here. It allows
The bill amends current law. What you're looking at, what you're looking for.
And then he's an asshole.
Mr. Chairman, your bill, as introduced here, allows the executive to eliminate any executive department, agency, independent establishment, or corporation within the United States, an office or an officer, to essentially repeal, amend any regulation, and to eliminate anything that the executive branch determines to be unnecessary. And I strongly oppose this bill because this is a blank check to Donald Trump and Elon Musk to continue to dismantle the federal government.
I mean, we are literally talking about just do whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't matter. There's no reason for anybody to try to do anything. We definitely want to be your backdrop number 7. The other guy who touts to be a genius, all again, he learned how to do is how to play the system like a fiddle. That's it. So they don't know their own bills. Think about that. Who is writing all of this? Who is sending this? Why didn't he just give the microphone to the lady behind him, just so that she can answer? Because she had the attitude, like, hey, say this. And the other ones were, idiots. So, one thing, because I get a lot of my crappy news from Facebook, because I I've been noticing, I don't know if you have, how all of a sudden you click on the reels and it's like, Elon Musk, Elon Musk, Elon Musk, Elon, cute Elon, Trump, my God. Like, what the hell happened to this? So, not that it was the best to begin with, but fuck, it was entertaining. It was my thing. It was my thing. I'm having a problem with that because that's the only social media I use. But I started using Blue Sky. And I like it. I'm not a fan of it as much because it's like a Twitter type of thing, and I was never a fan of Twitter to begin with. But gotta support it just to fuck with the other ones too. Now, Jack Smith, hilarious fucker, he decided to share with us the 5 things some of the MAGA employees did in MAGA world. So we got 5 things that Mike Waltz did last week. Inadvertently, he added. Oh, let me put it in the pot. Inadvertently added a journalist into a group chat to discuss an imminent military strike. Denied doing it. Admitted to doing it. Blamed the journalist for how it could have happened. ask Elon Musk to investigate how it could have happened. Um, 5 things Tulsi Gabbard did last week. Lied under oath when she denied classified info was discussed in the chat. Like, none of us got to see that, right? They must think that we are walking around, holding our eyes, and just bumping into things like they do. Claim she misremembered. Couldn't say what phone she used. At those damn emails. Play war games with the Senate to avoid culpability. We just heard a very solid example of it. And develop sudden amnesia on classification. They all do. They are the law and order people as long as I can make up the law to keep you in order. Now, 5 things done by Trump last week. I haven't read this one. Pretended he didn't know about Signal chat security disaster. Pretended it wasn't a big deal. Called it a witch hunt. It's like Salem with his people. Proceeded to go on a witch hunt, blaming the journalists and the Signal app. Salem. Crashed the stock market as a distraction. And, oh my God, I mean, I had originally bought some Doge and whatever the hell it's pronounced earlier and stuff like that because I was trying, to enjoy some of that. The beautiful thing is, like, oh, bitches, I forgot to sell the last $90. Damn it. But just to give you an idea, on the last 3 months, he has lost 46%. And when you look at Bitcoin, in the last 3 months, he has gone down 11%. That's the magic. Remember how they said that we were going to be swimming in it? We're going to be swimming in money. You're going to have so much money. You don't know what to do with it. Yeah. I wish. Now, I've never really spoken yet about religion or whatnot, but I'm very neutral about it. I grew up in a very Catholic country. So, like, to the point where I learned that people over here hired pastors and stuff for other religions. Because to me, it was as simple as you need a priest, they get Rome sends it. You know what I mean? Like, they send it from over there. Nobody else gets to hire it. Like, you don't choose who goes to the church. Until I got here and I expanded my mind. So I also realized about the Joel Osteen of the world and all those maniacs. And then we have the evangelicals in Venezuela who are the crazy money people, all about religion until money is around. And then you got many crazies here as well. So normally, I don't trust religious people. If you come out with, I am such a Christian, I am such a devout whatever, I'm a whatever it is. I don't care, Muslim, Christian, whatever. If you're too deep into it, I try to, it's like a caution tape for me. Because most of them are hypocrites about it. But this one seems to stand by it. This is one of the few religious Texans, guys, whatever, truly sticking up to his morals and telling everybody else to screw off. Look at this.
Citizens need to understand
James
what's
Talarico.
happening at their state capital. A group of billionaires are attempting to dismantle public education in the second largest state in the country. They're pushing something called private school vouchers, which is really just using our taxpayer dollars to pay for private school tuition. They say it's to help working class kids go to private school. They call it school choice. It all sounds so noble, but it
kind of like when they say the tax incentive for their companies are not giveaways, but tax credit for us are. So, they work for their free money. We don't, I guess. So just like Brett Favre a few years back when he went ahead and got the governor, whatever local official or some shit like that, he got some official to go ahead and move money from public schools to his kids' private schools. Bitch, you make so much. This is greedy assholes. So let's keep listening to James Tallarico.
It is the biggest scam I have ever seen.
Exactly.
In the states that have already tried vouchers, the vast majority of the money ends up going to wealthy parents who already have their kids in private school.
They just don't want to pay for it.
82% of the voucher money went to rich parents who already had their kids in private school.
See?
In New Hampshire, it's 75%. In Florida, it's 70%. And every year, more money that would have gone to the public schools is now going to rich parents who don't need it, slowly starving the public schools. In Arizona, their voucher scam is already bankrupting their public education budget because that's the point. That's the goal.
Exactly.
These billionaires pushing vouchers have different reasons. Some of them have extreme religious views. Some of them have an ideological mission. Some of them own private schools that will profit off the new law once it's passed.
See?
But they all share the same goal: closing our neighborhood public schools. So Texans need to wake up. They need to call their state reps. They need to call their state senators. They need to call their lieutenant.
I'm sorry. I have no faith in Texas whatsoever. I don't think Texas can be counted on except to continue the madness, if I'm completely honest. I wish I would be proven wrong, but that's a state that denies its roots. So to them, there were never Mexicans there. I mean, think about it. They complain the Mexicans are coming crossing the border when in reality they're just coming back home after somebody fucking came in and invaded their home. You know, ask them why it's Texas and not Texas. Because Mexicans had its own language, Mexica, which, you know, it's very different, which is why you hear all those tongue twisters of names over there. So, a whole other different story that they have no idea about. They know nothing about their own stories. Very few even know what the hell Don't Tread on Me flag even stands for. So, the Don't Tread on Me are, you know, just rolling onto everybody else. And so, now, this is how they are being played as a puppet. Because I understand that I'm already preaching to the choir. I'm already talking to people like-minded. And it's not just about griping about what they're doing, but it's trying to figure out a way how we can better manage it. Situation, I like to use my examples with Venezuela because it is a very parallel situation. People from Ukraine and Russia will use Putin as an example because of the situation, and Cubans with head and, you know, reasonable and critical thinking will relate it to their government as well because it's the same thing. But they are looking at El Salvador as an example because he's like the one smart dictator, to say it that way, where he has known how to tote the line between getting away with whatever he wants to do and make sure that he keeps the people on his side by keeping the majority of the population on his side, doing shit the right way. I gotta say that, yes, I don't like the techniques that he does in some of the things, but sometimes, and I only say that because that president was right to say, you know, it's easy to come and complain and whatever and whatnot about human rights and whatever, because many of those criminals don't see life as life. But when you do the same thing as everybody else or as the bad guys, what keeps you separated from it? well, you gotta kill to go or you be killed. Yes, those are different examples, even though they are very similar. So let's go to see who knew what.
I want to talk to the Trump
And who's
supporters
who?
for a minute. I don't know who you are. I don't know why you like this guy.
I'm gonna restart that video because he is talking to Trump supporters, and I've been sharing this video and stuff like that. And I really hate this guy. Like, mm,
I want to talk to the Trump supporters for a minute. I don't know who you are. I don't know why you like this guy.
Whatever he does, he accuses everyone else of doing. The man cannot tell the truth, but he combines it with being a narcissist. A narcissist.
Grab up that power and really treat the country as sort of his little bully fiefdom.
they all knew it.
Donald Trump is everything I taught my children not to do in kindergarten.
He's been exploiting working Americans for 40 years.
They know it.
He's a race baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot.
Where did their balls go?
He says he's for the little guy, but he's actually built a lot of his business on the backs of the little guy.
Donald Trump the other day said that it, quote, if he tells a soldier to commit a war crime, the soldier will just go do it.
That's one of the few ones that stuck to his guns, as much as we don't agree.
As a read the Constitution, knows what's in the Constitution.
Another body.
Mix of demagoguery and mean-spiritedness and nonsense.
Rick Perry.
I just cannot support Donald Trump.
Susan
Donald
Collins.
Trump is a delusional narcissist and an orange-faced windbag. Donald Trump is a con artist.
He doesn't know the difference between truth and lies. He lies practically every word that comes out of his mouth.
I think he's a kook. I think he's crazy. I think he's unfit for office.
And when you're trying to tell me that, yeah, they know what they're doing, I seriously doubt it. In the sense of, yes, they do know what they're doing, but that's because they're trying to dismantle everything and they are geniuses at it. It's like the pretty woman, Richard Gere in the movie, when he's just like, what's your business? I just buy other businesses, break them apart, and sell them to pieces and make a boatload of money on the way. That's this. In this case, we are the company being taken apart. The entire country is being taken apart. I mean, I know that we keep hearing it on memes and whatnot, but you literally have a South African coming here to tell everybody else how the immigrants are the bad guys. Mirroring anyone, reflecting. I mean, has anybody come to realize that Trump called his own children the poison of the blood of the country? Because they are immigrant, children of immigrant. He's married to 2 immigrants. Like, do they not think this sticks to them? I mean, it's kind of like when the Nazis follow Hitler, because Hitler wanted blonde, tall, muscular, good-looking people while he was a scrawny, midget, blonde-haired Jew. But everybody went after him like, oh my God, he's the best. Like, this bastard over here of, I mean, I'm not even going to play that clip. I can't deal with him. And again, I understand that many of these officers are just doing their job because you have to do it whether you want to or not. But at some point, there should be some way to disobey an unlawful order, right? I don't know. Because again, it's not unlawful because they're under the authority of the president, but is it moral? Is it good for the country? Is it really, lawful? Is it on if it would be done to somebody under the criminal law of the US, would it be lawful to do that? what you guys are doing. You know what I mean? And it's not you guys itself, but something to just enjoy it. I mean, it's a festival. They're acting like people are trying to attack them. People are just standing around with their hands in their pockets. The private data and passwords are first online. Like, but the emails, not even gonna, actually, when I recorded it, I didn't even give it the whole thing because it's just disgusting. Like, learn your thing. That's a racist symbol.
Your staffer did not put his contact information.
No,
But
no,
how did it
no.
end up in
So
your
that's
phone?
what we're trying to. That's what we're trying to figure out.
Okay. But that's a pretty big problem.
That is what.
If there are
That's what we
numbers,
got the best technical
Yeah.
minds, right?
that's
And that's
disturbing.
where I mean, I'm sure everybody out there has had a contact where it was said one person and then a different phone number.
But you've never talked to him before, so how's the number on your phone?
It was said one person and then a different. It's like the Joey Triviani dad excuse to Joey's mom of I was sleeping at the accountant's. Like, how is that number even saved in your phone at all? Oh, he's suggesting that Carlos, you're an idiot. Somebody hacked him. Okay, he hacked himself into it. And they got everybody under their thumb and somehow sounds familiar because even till to this day, everything bad that happens in Venezuela is fault of the opposition. Never mind that the officialism has been in ruling of every department and agency and whatever branches of government used to exist for the past 15 years. But hey, it's still somehow the opposition's fault that they are completely incompetent.
Gabbard, you said no classified information was included in the signal chat, correct?
That's correct.
And President Trump also said there was no classified information in the signal chat. And Secretary Hegseth said nobody was texting war plans. There was absolutely no classified info in that chat. Lieutenant General Cruz, I'd like to talk to you about a couple things real quick. Executive Order 13526, Section 1.4a. This is the Trump administration's executive order with regard to classified information. It says information shall be classified if its unauthorized disclosure could reasonably be expected to cause damage to national security, including military plans, weapon systems, or operations. You don't disagree that that's accurately quoted, right?
That's an accurate quote from the executive order.
Before we continue into the dancing and, pussyfooting of this general, because again, why can you just answer the question straightforward? Where is the honor? Because that seems pretty straightforward. Any of us who have seen that chat, you know that all of those information factors, all three contributed and more was shared in there. Aside from the fact that you are so pro vets and pro military, and you're doing all of that conversation and not just once, and then you say the signal is a great chat. When did it's? Let me take a breather. You talk about how you have the most expert minds in the technological field working for you, but you don't have them set up a communication system. You instead go use Signal. Why not WhatsApp?
In DOD 5200.0 1. This is the DoD's manual on classification, says, quote, information shall be classified if its unauthorized disclosure could reasonably be expected to cause describable damage to national security. This includes military plans, weapon systems, or operations. You don't disagree that I quoted that accurately, right?
That's also an accurate quote.
Can I show you I'd like to show you the text that Secretary Hegseth actually published to the world.
He's thinking, what can I say? What can I say?
As Ranking Member Himes said, it says, time now, weather is favorable. Just confirmed with CENTCOM, we are a go for mission launch. Then it says at 12:15 Eastern, F-18s launch first strike package. F-18s are military systems, correct? Weapon systems.
They are.
Okay. 13:45, trigger-based F-18 first strike window starts. Target terrorist is at his known location, so should be on time. Also, strike drones launch MQ-9s. MQ-9s is a weapon system, correct?
They are.
Okay. I think applying the executive order as well as the DoD manual to this fact pattern, we clearly have weapon systems that have been identified. That is classified information. Now, the reason why it's important that this information not be disclosed is that we don't want the adversaries to know what's about to happen, right, sir?
Well, I would draw a small distinction there. You referenced and asked if that platform, those two platforms are weapon systems. They are, but those terms are used all across the globe in a lot of contexts. So it's really about how they're used in the context of this particular document. I just want to clarify that the use of those.
I understand.
Yeah.
And this,
Go up online and then I'll be the show in 15 seconds.
So right there, we can already, oh, I can't deal with her. So again, we're just having a whole bunch of people cover up something that is uncoverable, something that is unredeemable, something that is just. Now, this part here, as an immigrant, as somebody who has an accent, who just loves languages and understands difference is what makes us have flavor. And this is what we have representing us.
Being raising anti-India voice, calling about separation, terrorism activities in India. Do you think that should continue here in the US as well?
you're gonna have to go louder.
So first of all, he goes, you're going to have to go louder.
Mr. President, people in India would be welcoming your decision to extradite Habur Rana to.
I can't understand a word he said.
Accent? Oh, no. It's just that he said he was louder, so he just can't understand what he's saying. And it's not because of the accent. Okay, sure. Possible deniability says something, or, rings a bell some way, because that's what this is. It's possible deniability. So why is that? Because we already saw the other one. What's her name? Margarine. I know it's Marjorie, but Margarine, she's just a chemical away from plastic. She literally decided to ignore a reporter because she was from the UK. And so we can see the pattern there. And so it's a tough situation because we don't really know what's going on. We don't really know how to navigate most of the situations besides getting angry and see what happens. But bad people only win if we let them. If we don't do anything about it. We got to raise our voice. We got to be able to, you know, support each other. And when I say support each other, whether you're a Haitian dealing with something with your TPS, or whether you are a single mom that just needs help with watching the kid a few hours, like help each other out however you can. Just help each other out if it's within your reach. Miguel Angel Landa used to say it: do well without looking. Well, it sounds better in Spanish. Do well without looking to who you do it to. Basically, do good without caring about who you do good to. Meaning, hagan bien sin mirar a quién, basically. So you can see how it flows more in Spanish. Sayings and poems and songs, horrible things to interpret. Like they're freaking horrible to interpret. Oh, every time I gotta interpret a poem or a song, it is a nightmare. I actually don't interpret songs. I gave up on that because somehow my brain blocks with songs. It's like the Mario Brothers game. I forget which one is it, which console is it. The bridge they start to there's like in the desert when I think is Super Nintendo when they introduce this desert world, and when we first realized the little blocks they are holding up in the air, they fall after you're sitting there for a while. That's what happens to words when they go into my head through a song. I cannot understand it. It doesn't stay complete. Everything just falls. Any other way, I can interpret nonstop for hours, which I'm gonna be needing it pretty soon. Yeah. Well, let's see. What else has been going on aside from all this politics and all of this other stuff as well? I am talking to about 4 different people to start their own podcast. Right now, some would be to kind of like an audio drama. It's like a hair in my mouth. Yep, there it is. Like an audio drama of a book of a friend that a friend of mine wrote. And then somebody else wants to do one about archaeology and rocks and fossils and stuff like that, I think. So there's somebody else who wants to do an erotic podcast. And somebody else is writing stories for it. So I might put those two together and get the stories of one for the other one to read. The recordings, well, the office, as you can see, is still a mess. I haven't been able to do anything here. Buying some extra equipment. Let me move the notes over here. But I have about 35 headsets over here that I use. I'm going to be having a training, women's training something. It's going to be like a whole weekend. And it's going to be 30 to 50 people that I'm going to be interpreting for at the same time. I love those things. Like doing like a lot of people like that. Last time I did something like that, it's usually for like construction company trainings and, not the fun stuff. But recording studio is coming along. I'm going to really, pretty soon, I'll be able to stop recording in my office, and which will allow me to continue finishing it up. And then I'll be able to move everything to the little recording studio that I'm building next to my office. I learned how to put tile for the first time. 2 days ago, 3 days ago. No, yeah, something like that. I've never done tile. I just jump into it, but I did get lucky and talked to the Home Depot guy who actually they had one who knew a lot about tiles, and he gave me the step by step. That shit looks good. Actually, let me see if I can show you. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah. There's the tile. I've never done that. And then, I don't know if you can see, but I'm building right over there a little game console setup. You'll be able to see it later once I move locations. But that has been a lot of work. I'm almost done with it. I gotta figure out how to do with a Cricut. I'm gonna try to do like I don't know, maybe the size of a regular sheet of paper, like a sticker of a Mario and a Luigi, and maybe a Yoshi and a Toad going through the tunnels, because I have all these vents, the AC vents. My house is an old house. And so I'm thinking paint them green and make them look like the Mario Brothers pipes and have Yoshi and the other ones go through them. And so I'm excited. Already connected all the consoles. We have set up PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, Nintendo Wii U. All connected. Same TV, same everything. I have a splitter that sends them different ways, so I just gotta press a button. So all the 3 Nintendos are with the AVI cable, and the Wii U with the other 2 consoles are on HDMI. Just press a button, it switches them up. Oh, it's coming so good. So let's see. Anyway, I think that is it for today. It's already 1 o'clock. I gotta go to bed because I gotta wake up at 7. No, maybe 8. And so, well, thank you so much, everybody, for listening today. Whoever stayed this long with me. If you feel kind enough, please give us a follow or a like or a share. If you would like to reach out to us, you can go to our website, pkdkpod.com, or if you want to email, just replace it.com for @gmail.com. And so if you decide that maybe you want to have your own podcast, maybe you would like to have your own show, let us know. We can help you out with that at no cost at all. Well, thank you so much, and I hope you have a good evening. Thank you for listening to today's episode. Don't forget to follow this podcast so that you don't miss any new episodes. You can also search for PKDK on your favorite podcast player for all the other shows that we have.